Well, good morning, boys and girls. Ross Brezovar here again on our Wednesday coffee break. Thanks for deciding to join us for coffee and something worth talking about relating to marketing, technology, or communications. Today, we are going to be talking about LinkedIn and how to boost your personal profile, which is incredibly important. So let us dive right in because it's a bit of a lengthy presentation today. Let me get ready. All right, there we go. I'm going to share my screen. All right, there we go. So let's talk about LinkedIn after we talk about us. As you all know, this is our amazing team. And I have to give a shout out. We had an amazing event last week. We spent over 5 hours together, basically talking about the company and the direction and some changes that are upcoming. An amazing team. I am incredibly blessed to have the people that I have working with me. And if you haven't met them, it's because you're not working with us. So maybe it's time to give us a call. Just saying. All right, let's talk a little bit about, is there a way to, and by the way, I downloaded this today. Last couple of weeks, I keep forgetting. So it's on my computer. It should work faster. We're going to talk about optimizing your profile for search specifically, how to approach LinkedIn like a living resume, using your description to sell yourself. We're going to talk about your profile photo, your cover photo, even your profile URL, ideas and reasons why you should write articles specifically for LinkedIn, how to choose your skills strategically, setting your profile to public, which most of us probably have anyways, but we're going to just briefly touch on that, participating in groups, but how to do that, accepting connection requests and engaging meaningfully, and then personalize your own invitations to connect and not being afraid to ask for recommendations, and keeping your content positive and helpful, which should be not just LinkedIn, but it should be across the board. All right, so you represent your business, and for that reason, building your personal brand is a must-do. We're going to talk about 15 ways to boost your personal profile and your personal brand on LinkedIn. Business owners and managers need to be strategic about marketing themselves. It's easy to spend, and we all do this, right? To spend a lot of time focusing on our business and how we are projected as a business, but we don't invest enough time on our personal brand. So let's talk about optimizing our profile. LinkedIn is as much of a search engine as it is a social media platform. So the words you choose matter immensely. What keywords do you want to be found when potential clients or employers are searching LinkedIn? Well, to determine those keywords, and probably one of the best ways is to find, like if you're looking for a specific job, find out what exactly they're looking for and try to make sure those keywords, as long as they apply to you. Make sure you use your keywords in your headline, your job title, your summary, your job descriptions, everything. Choosing the right words makes the difference between your profile being found and being invisible. Make sure to approach your LinkedIn profile like a living resume, right? So it's not a set and forget kind of thing where, oh, I put all my information from my schooling and the experience I have. You need to make sure you update it often, especially when you have changes or things that have happened that might be relevant to a future employer or a future client. This could be a career move, maybe like with our team here, a new direction we're heading into. Maybe we spoke at a conference, publishing a new article, taking a new course and actually completing that. Share that here. It's part of your professional brand. So think of LinkedIn as your living resume. Your description is important because you can use it to sell yourself. So really take the time to sell yourself in your description and get specific. Make sure to include facts and figures, right? So for example, you can state that you increased site traffic for a client by X%. That's much more compelling than you saying, I'm just an SEO expert, right? So highlighting your greatest accomplishments that are relevant to your clients and the jobs that you want to attract, highly important. And avoid jargon at all costs, right? They don't know what you do behind the scenes as far as the jargon for that industry. So like in our case, we do digital marketing. What we talk and we apply this to what your business are, what our clients need, not talking the language of digital marketing, because a lot of people might get sort of befuddled with that, right? Your profile description functions just like a cover letter. So keep it concise, keep it clear, and don't shy away from selling how really good you are. All right, reconsider your profile photo. You'd be surprised at some of the profile photos that actually make their way onto LinkedIn. Here are just some things to keep in mind when selecting your profile photo. One, it should include your face and your shoulders. So basically what they call a headshot. Don't use any extreme close-up or a zoomed out body shot when they don't really know, they really can't put a face to a name. Your photo should be crystal clear and unpixelated, obviously. No hat, sunglasses, or obscuring accessories, so don't take a picture of you at the beach. Smile, have great lighting. Don't use a selfie, or at least not that they can tell that it's a selfie. You could certainly have someone else take it for you. It's very easy, and you don't need to have a professional photographer to do this in, right? Just have you in the picture, and of course, dress professionally. And like I said, it could all be done on your own with a little planning. All right, so get creative with your cover photo. So LinkedIn also allows you to add a cover photo at the top of your profile. It's a great way to stand out, and it adds an extra element to your profile because typically it's just a lot of text. So consider incorporating your company's logo or an image that's associated with your profession. So, and as an example, a novelist might put a typewriter or a pen, or an accountant might choose a spreadsheet, which doesn't sound very exciting, but something related that way. And of course, the dimensions, so you know, is 1884 by 396 pixels. All right, so customizing your LinkedIn profile's URL. Take the time to customize your LinkedIn profile URL, ideally by making sure it has your name in it. Now, we all know that there's a lot of people with similar names. So if you find that the name was already taken, add your middle name, or maybe your middle initial even is enough to differentiate you from someone else, or by even adding your profession. So an example, John Smith could be John M. Smith or John Smith SEO. And if at all possible, use dashes in your URL as seen above. Google actually reads dashes as spaces and accordingly recommends their use over underscore. So the dash in the middle, not underneath the underscore. And keep in mind that you can only change your URL once every 30 days. So just make sure that you're 100% committed to the URL you're using or about to submit because you're stuck with it for 30 days. Writing articles for LinkedIn. I think this is really important. Consider publishing articles directly to LinkedIn. You might wonder why you'd post an article there as opposed to doing it on your blog. And that's a great question. Doesn't mean that you can't use the blog as well. But the advantage of posting on LinkedIn is that when you hit publish, all of your connections will be notified and it'll show up in their feed, right? There's an opportunity to increase your chances of your LinkedIn audience actually reading your article. Now, of course, you can always publish an excerpt of the article that you may already have on your website and then direct people from LinkedIn to read the rest of it on your website. That's another way to drive traffic to your website. Or you can syndicate your content from your blog and repost it on LinkedIn. And of course, you can also create content that's exclusive to LinkedIn. For example, there might be a piece you want to write on an entrepreneurial subject that would resound with your LinkedIn connections that won't necessarily make sense on your business blog. So definitely worth looking into or considering. Choose your skills strategically. So what does that mean? So every LinkedIn profile can list up to 50 skills. You should choose relevant skills to fill all 50 slots, and you should think strategically about what skills to include. Now, 50 might seem like a lot, but once you start adding skills, you're going to find that it's really not that many, especially if you're considering things that are somewhat generic, like writing and editing. There's 2 right there. The 50 skills that you choose should align with the skills that potential employers or clients will be looking for. And if you're not sure what those skills are, well, look at the jobs that you want and see what the desired skills that they list are. Now, of course, you put those if you have them. Don't add them just because you're trying to get the job or the project. Just make sure to include them if you have them. And if not, start working on them. If you know that somebody's looking for something specific, start to educate yourself on that so you can include those down the road. Setting your profile to public, as I mentioned, you definitely want to make sure it's public. Otherwise, people cannot find you. You wouldn't want to alienate future clients or employers from seeing you, right? Now, sometimes one of the reasons why people might have it private is because they want to check other people's profiles without them knowing it, right? We all have our reasons. But in that case, you just log out of LinkedIn, and then you can still review someone's profile and no one will know that you were there. All right, participate in groups. This is highly important. Don't underestimate the power of participating in LinkedIn groups. Joining groups is a fantastic way to find other professionals whose interests actually align with yours and your businesses. Down the line, those connections can lead to opportunities and possible contracts. Find groups relevant to your industry, but not only join them, but really you need to participate. You can comment, you can start threads, you can ask questions, offer advice, especially when you find something that worked for X client, you might want to share that, right? So strive to be useful, be active, and try to pick a couple of key groups that you really want to be associated with, because it's a lot better to be active in a couple than a silent lurker, as they say, in many, right? I'm in 25 groups, great, but if you're just hanging out, no one knows who you are, it really doesn't help you at all. Accept all connection requests. Well, this is one that there's really no reason not to, because you never know who's in their connection group that might be of value to you, right? So given that your profile is professional, it's public-facing component of your personal brand, you should welcome any and all connection requests. Growing your connections will only lead to a wider network and more opportunities, plus you show up more. So every time you accept a request, you're now going to be part of that connections network, and accordingly, you're going to show up as a second-degree connection in their network. Now, obviously, there's one exception to the rule. There's probably others as well. But if somebody's harassing you online, you wouldn't obviously want to accept their request. But other than that, go for it. Engage meaningfully. LinkedIn shouldn't just be a platform for your own posts, right? Set aside some time to go through your LinkedIn feed and find opportunities to share, like, and comment. This is key, really, to building relationships over time. For example, there's someone you'd really like to work with in the future, or a client you'd like to land, make a point to engage with their content on LinkedIn. That way, if you ever are in a position to partner with them or pitch to them, they have some sort of a background with you, and you won't be just another connection, but someone who's actually interacted with them and their content. Personalize your invitations to connect. Taking time to write a personal note along with an invitation will really boost your chance of acceptance, right? So don't just, I want to connect. Give a reason why. It helps open the door also for further communication down the line. Write a brief message, even if it's a paragraph, and mention maybe how you met or why you want to connect, or something that maybe you admire about their business. One of the things that I've done in the past is if I've noticed something that's maybe wrong with their website or wrong with something that I see, I reach out and let them know, because I think it's valuable that somebody shares that something's going on, as opposed to being quiet about it. All of us as business owners really always want that feedback, positive or otherwise. Don't be afraid to ask for recommendations, right? So don't wait for recommendations to just happenstance and just appear. That's not going to happen. Be proactive and go after them. Reach out to your connections with a request for recommendations. Good places to start include your colleagues, people that you've worked with before and currently, or clients that are just over the moon by you and know that you can count on, your good work. Be sure to include a personal note, of course, politely requesting that recommendation, specifically on LinkedIn. It helps to share why you also want the recommendation, right? You're looking to boost your profile or your online reputation. You're applying for new jobs. You're looking for good references for clients. Make sure that you specifically state why. So once they give you a recommendation, always take the time to thank them and maybe write a recommendation for them in return. Keeping your content positive and helpful. LinkedIn is your professional calling card. All right. So don't comment, share, publish anything that you wouldn't say directly to an employer, a client, or someone in a professional setting. Keep your posts, your comments positive, thoughtful, and encouraging, and always treat LinkedIn like a professional workspace rather than a personal social media profile. That's it for today's presentation on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, let me see if anyone has actually chatted me up. If you are looking for any type of support, whether it's creating your cover image or additional marketing inside of LinkedIn or any other type of advertising or marketing, especially digital platform, please let us know. We're here to assist, and look forward to seeing you again next week. Have a great day.